What's up, G Squad? Today I'm doing a story time on my Philippines trip, but most specifically my time in Pico de Loro because that's the most entertaining. It was pretty great the whole trip. It was fun to spend time with my family, and some highlights was pretending to model with my cousin, my cousin's mom falling off and breaking a stool while doing karaoke. Seeing the different places, it's quite different. Like, when you're inside, it's not that different, but on the outside, it's very different from America. We played badminton at one of the places that we stayed at, but Pico de Loro, the best. Well, there was 14 of us staying at the hotel, it's a condo because it's owned by someone, but it's a hotel because we don't technically own it. And the owner of the condo was letting us stay there, and he knew how many of us there was. Remember that, because 14 of us was in that room. And apparently the main company that owns those condos, like the land area, only allows for 10 people per room. And I mean, they were nice rooms. Like, that was probably the nicest place that we stayed at, and I really liked the style of it that I might copy when I have my own apartment. So yeah, we were over by 4 people. And after dinner, we got a call from one of the staff asking us if those 4 people had left the room, because we can't have that many. And my aunt, we're going to call her Tita Grace, because she's like my aunt, but not really my aunt. Like, I call her my aunt because it's just confusing. So she told them that, yes, those 4 people have left. They were me, my mom, my aunt Cece, we're just going to call her Cece, and my other cousin. So yeah, but we wanted to prevent security from seeing all 14 of us together. So me, my mom, Cece, and Tita Grace, we all separated from the group and took a different route to our room, because we have a back door, and we were like, okay, we'll see it. We have this chair and they'll have the lights on, so we'll know which one it is. So that was a great plan on our part. We start walking there, and it starts raining, and it rains really hard there, but it doesn't take, like, it stops pretty fast too. So we sat down for maybe like 5 minutes, and it's like 10 o'clock at this time, so they're turning off all the lights in the place, and it's getting super dark. Like, you can't even see, there's a big lake in the middle, and I couldn't even see the lake till we were right in front of it. So at this point, my anxiety starts to kick in, because I may have cellulophobia, and it's dark, so that was freaking me out. But it wasn't too bad yet, because there's 4 of us. The rain stops, and we start walking again. We keep walking till I see our room. I tell my mom that, look, there's our room, but she doesn't think it's ours, and that's one of our biggest mistakes. But she doesn't think that it's ours, and we keep walking because we also think that, there'll be a different entrance, because the way that we were, there was no direct path from where we were standing to get to the room. So we keep walking, and we should have just turned back, but that was our first mistake. So we keep walking, and we realize we're way too far from our room. So we head back, and we think we know how to get back. So we see 2 different paths. One path that is up, and one path that is lower. So me and my mom, we split up with my aunt Cece and Tita Grace. That's mistake number 2. Me and my mom go on the upper path, and my aunt Cece and Tita Grace go on the bottom. So turns out that the route that me and my mom took was a dead end, and it didn't lead back to our room at all. It was in a whole different building. So we head back, and we go down the same path that they took, but somehow we ended up not where they were. So we find this other building with a door, like a back door, and we think it's our building. So we walk in and find our room door, because each building has the same room numbers for some reason, and it was really confusing. So we find the room that we think is ours, and the door should have been unlocked so we could just walk in, but the door wasn't. Like, so my mom called my aunt. I keep calling her she's my aunt. This is like, she's my actual aunt. She calls Cece, and she says, "Oh no, they opened the door, you're not there." So we are like, oh, we're in the wrong building. And the tiles in this building were broken, and so every step we took, you could hear it through the hall, and it's so loud. We're trying to hide from like the people that are running the whole building. So we're like walking on the sides to avoid it, and it was so crazy. And so we walk towards the front of that building and ask for where our building is, because they don't know us, so we can just ask for our building. And we follow their directions, but we end up on the wrong side of the building. So we're on the parking lot side, where the other side is like the fronts, where the actual entrance is. So we are walking down this road, and it's dark and so empty, and at this point my anxiety is at its peak. I am constantly looking back to make sure we aren't being followed, because that's something that my brain thinks up. I have no idea why, but it does. And it was, I had to pee at this point too. Like, I was just starting to feel it. And so yeah, and then at this point it starts raining again, but it's not like that hard rain that will stop in a couple minutes. No, this is like decently pouring rain, but it's constant. So we have to stand under these covers right in front of this building. We somehow walked all the way to the main building. Like, it's so far away from ours, but we ended up there somehow. And so we walk, we're in front of this building, and then there's a bus stop type of a thing. So we go there and hide from the rain, and also security, because we don't want them to see us. And I feel like I'm gonna pee my pants at this point. And my anxiety is at an all-time high. My mom, she calls Tita Grace, and they come get us from that main building and show us how to go back to our room. So my mom and Tita Grace, they go with the umbrella that we borrowed from one of the security, because at this point we're so lost that we have to go through the main building. So we go through the main building, and we borrow an umbrella, and my mom and Tita Grace, they walk to the building, to our building. And me and my aunt Cece, we follow like a little behind them, but not as close. And when it's our turn, she lets me go first, and I know how to get there because we took that path before. We completely forgot about this path earlier, like when we were lost, which sucks. So I got to that path, and I walked down, and then I'm into the room, and then Cece comes shortly long after. And when I got back, it was like 11ish, maybe like 10. It's that time there, whatever, but it was late, and I wasn't really tired. I was pretty hyped up from everything that we just went through. So I went down to the lower floor because I was staying in the upstairs room. And my cousin, she was playing K-pop songs, so she was teaching me K-pop dances. And I mean, I don't really listen to K-pop because I don't get it, but to each his own. It's just not my thing. So yeah, I was learning K-pop dances for a while, and then I left and went to bed because I was getting tired, and I was also feeling really awkward. So I was just like, okay, I'll just go upstairs. And in the morning, my brother and my other cousin, they both wanted to play basketball. And everything there costs money for some reason. So they won't let us have 4 extra people in our room, even though we all fit comfortably. But then they'll charge us for everything that you do. The only thing that was free there was swimming, and like it was always busy, so I don't really like swimming with lots of people. So yeah, so everything costs money there, and my mom was paying for the half court that my brother and cousin were going to use. And they asked for her name because they have to make sure that you are staying there, I guess. And her name wasn't in the register. So we were like, "Oh, why is that?" And then the lady's like, "Oh, maybe my Tita Grace who signed everyone up, right? Maybe she used a nickname." So we're like, "Okay, maybe that's it," and we don't know what she used. So my mom was like, "Oh, can we just use his name, my brother's?" And then she's like, yeah, that should work. So she gives my brother's name, and he's in the register. And then my mom, a few minutes later when we're sitting down, she's like, "It's because she was supposed to leave, and like the four of us, well, not Tita Grace, but my other cousin was supposed to leave, so our names aren't in the thing, so that means we can't use our names on anything for the rest of the day that we're there, because we only stayed there for one day. Like, this all happened in 24 hours. And the drive there, it was so long. And I was falling asleep the whole time because my sleep schedule was so bad there for some reason. I don't know, like I was just sleeping all the time we were in the car, and basically I was tired everywhere. So we all stayed there and they played basketball, and then I went swimming a little while later, and it was just a whole mess. But we only stayed there for one night, but besides the whole drama of this whole thing, it was really fun. And if I wasn't getting devoured by mosquitoes, because I came back with like 12 mosquito bites, probably more, I would have stayed there longer, maybe. I don't know. I was kind of getting homesick at that, like around day 8, and we were there for 10, 12 days. So yeah, I was kind of getting homesick after a while because my dad wasn't with us, so I missed him. But if we all were there and I wasn't getting devoured by mosquitoes, that would have been a great trip. But yeah, that's for it, guys. Peace.